Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to day 7. Oh my gosh, we're getting so close to the end of our Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. We've got Allison, Carrie, Gerard, LaDonna. Good to see ya. Oh, we even have Van Dam Designer. Very awesome. Dawn. Hello, and Sam Peterson. Of course, I'm Kathleen. If you haven't met me, I'm going to be your host for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge, which will be ending on Friday. We are almost there. It's been a week and a half. Super amazing. We've gone through really cool challenges to teach you different ways to create what you want to create in Photoshop. So today, as you might have seen, we're going to be covering mockups. Now, in the past, I've done mockups before, but I've done them using templates that you get from Adobe stock. So using someone else's mockup and using smart objects, that kind of thing. But today we're going to do something a little more customized, a little more advanced with displacement maps. I think if Tim's in the chat, he will be very excited. Tim's a big fan of displacement maps. Good morning, Ralph, Anthony. Good to see ya. Yes, the spinner. So let me just show you really quick how you can find out more information about these daily creative challenges. If you go to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop, you can find all the information you need. And although this challenge is going to end on Friday, don't worry, another challenge is going to start right back up on Monday with a different host and a different set of challenges. So it's going to be amazing. Ooh, Chad is also excited about displacement maps. It's pretty cool. I'm kind of new to them, so my mind is still being blown about them. All right, so if you come here, you can register for the challenge. You will receive your challenge every day by coming here. You can see every day a new one is unlocked. So we have mockups today. We even have a get started option for you, where you can download any starter files, any templates. These aren't necessary. This is just what I'm going to be working with if you want to follow along. But I highly recommend that you maybe follow along with me, but then do another version that is your own spin. Ken, who is up next? Am I allowed to say? I don't know. Is it a secret, or do I just make it a secret in my brain? I just get all excited. Carlos says I'm going to miss Friday because I'm traveling. Oh, Carlos, we'll miss ya. You're coming to the mainland for the weekend, all the way from Maui. Robin says, I'm new to displacement maps. This should be fun. Yes, it should. I hope so. Allison is an uber newbie to displacement maps. That'll be all right, Allison. This is the place for you. Okay, so if you want to hang out with this awesome community while this live stream isn't happening, you have access 24/7 via Discord. It's a really great place to ask all of your design questions and, most importantly, get feedback on your challenges. So if you come over here to feedback, current challenge, you can post your challenges from today and get feedback from the community. Sometimes we do live feedback on other Adobe live streams. So it's a great place. And also over here on the right, you can see who's online. We've got awesome mentors, Tim and Val. Got cool Adobe peeps, Gus. I guess Paco's okay. And I highly recommend that you put your work here. Oh, it looks like Sean has already even done today's challenge. Lord of the Flies. He has that shell. That blasted shell. It causes so many issues for those boys, doesn't it? It's a good book. Anybody remember the Lord of the Flies episode of The Simpsons? That's like one of my favorites. Ralph Wiggum is my spirit. He's my spirit child. Pamela says, hello everybody, hope you're having a creative day. We're about to have a creative day. Here we go. So let's jump into Photoshop. Now, if you don't know what a displacement map is, it's a really awesome way to make a realistic mock-up out of pretty much anything. So I've applied this shoe print pattern to this flag, and if you do it just normally, so I've turned the displacement off, it is just flat, there's no effect, you don't see any of these wrinkles in the shoe, but once we make a displacement map and apply it, you'll notice that a little warping happens. The shoes might warp around the wrinkles a little bit. You can see it really well up here, right above me. So you can do this for if you want to make a mock-up like on a t-shirt, on something that is rippling like a flag. I don't know what else you could do it on. Anybody have any other ideas? Like on a curvy building, perhaps? That'd be cool. Add your own billboard. Nor says he has been or they've been ignoring an update for over a month. Me too, Nor. They keep telling me to update my OS, and I just say, no thanks, I'm good for now. Malise says, wowie kazowie. I agree. So this book, if you didn't know, we are redesigning book covers for this challenge, specifically spooky book covers, so lots of Stephen King. We are going to be redesigning The Long Walk by Stephen King today. Anybody else ever read it? That one really freaked me out. It's not really horror. It's kind of like dystopian and strange. Ooh, put logo on a pizza? Tim, great idea. Great idea. Do it. I dare you. Okay, so let me just show you how we get started here. I'm going to turn off all of this work that we've already done and just start from the beginning. And you can download this flag asset if you'd like to work on a flag as well, or you could take your own picture, like of a book or of a t-shirt. You could hold it up and make your own mock-up that way. Ooh, Sean likes that book. So does Chris. It's a great book. It's a great book. Okay, so we're just going to start with our flag. And let me just actually delete everything. We're going for it. All right, we're starting with our flag layer in our book template. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that my image is black and white, because we're going to be working with black and white here. You can do that by mode, going to grayscale, or if you want to go to hue saturation, you can just turn your saturation all the way down. But we don't really need to do that here because it's already black and white. I already did it. Woohoo! Jason says he doesn't know that book. It's a short read. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's Hunger Games-esque, but more Americana. 3 strikes and bang. You know it, Jesse. There you go. Yeah, you could put a logo on bedding. It says love. That'd be a great idea. All right, so we've made it black and white because I want to work with a black and white cover. Great. Now I'm going to go up to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian. Make sure that your check mark for preview is turned on so that you can see how much you're really blurring things out. I'm going to bump up the blur quite a bit so that my flag, I can still see the highs and lows of the wrinkles. This looks good, but nothing is too crisp. So I'm going to click OK. And then this is when we are going to make our displacement maps. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to type displacement. Just for anybody who might get confused, this is displacement. And I'm just going to put it on my desktop, actually, just so I know exactly where I'm going to be able to find it. All right. Cool. So let me open back up my original file. We're going to go back to our originals. Delete everything again. Whoops. Click, click, click. There we go. Okay, so now let's apply our shoe graphic onto our flag. I've supplied the kind of tread graphics if you want to use them, but you could obviously mock up whatever you like. Navigate to our files. Here it is. Alrighty. And I'm going to use kind of this boot tread. Alright. And now I'm just going to erase everything else because I really only want this boot. I'm going to use the marquee tool. Click. Delete everything else. Perfect. Now the first thing I want to do is actually make this white. So the way that you can do that really quickly and easily, it's kind of a quick and dirty way, is if you have a black graphic and you have a transparent background, so you see the checkerboards, it is only those black pixels. I'm just going to lock my pixels by clicking this icon. You're going to lock all your transparent pixels. I'm going to change my foreground color to white. I'm going to hit Option Delete, and that's going to fill my layer with white, but since my layer is locked to the pixels, it's only going to fill the shoe. It's kind of just a quick way to change colors easily. All right, let's transform this, place it the way we want, maybe shrink it down a little bit. Now I'm actually going to duplicate this layer. You can either do Command J or drag your layer down to the new layer icon. That will also duplicate it. I'm going to drag it over here, and in Edit, Transform, I'm going to flip it vertically. So it actually looks like it's footsteps, 2 different feet. There we go. Okay, so let's actually get this thing looking all curvy and warped. I'm going to merge these 2 layers of the shoes, because they can live on the same layer. That's fine with me. Double clicking on the title and just naming it shoes, just so I know. And then the last thing I'm going to do before we get this warp going is I'm going to change this into a smart object. You'll see this will help us out later. So convert to smart object. I right-clicked, convert to smart object. Easy. Okay, let's get this displacement map on here. You're going to go up to Filter, Distort, and then Displace. Now here you're going to have a couple options. You can enter anything you want here, and then since we made this a smart object, if you don't like the settings that are here, we can come back and change them super easily. So that's why we did the smart object step first. So I have 30 and 30, that should be fine. Stretch to fit, and then wrap around. Okay, so when you click OK, it's gonna let you choose your map that you want to lay over your image. So remember, on our desktop, we have our blurry displacement. It is a PSD file. I'm gonna open it, it's gonna displace, and there we go. It applies a little bit of wrinklage here. It looks like it's going over that wrinkle. Let's see over here. Yeah, it's curved around a little bit. Now it's a little hard to see because this layer is also 100% opacity, so we'll play with that a little bit. But remember, like I just said, you can come over here to Displace in your smart filters, double click on it, and that will open up this option for you again. So maybe you want to play a little more with the horizontal scale. Displace one more time and see how it changes things. Cool. All right, everybody following? It's a lot, and earlier in the chat I actually posted a link to a tutorial that my coworker Lydia Lukianova worked on that is basically this workflow. So if you need more written instructions, that might be helpful. Ooh, Tim says there's a way to improve your displacement map. I will post it in the pro tips. Thank you. Please do. Yeah, I remember you had a really cool pro tip for displacements. Was it this year? A couple months ago? But let me just pop that link in the chat one more time. We're gonna have a little bit of Inception going on right now. Whoa! Pause. There it is. All right. Pamela wants to know, do I ever use the shortcut Command C and right click inside the transform tool to get the transform menu? Oh yeah, totally. So you can right click, see all of your warp options, so you could literally, we could even warp this more if we want to. Push and pull things. And that's one way to make a more realistic mock-up, but I think displacement maps, they do a lot of the work for you just by clicking buttons. Chris says Control-T was one of the best things I've ever learned in this challenge. Amazing! Yeah, so you don't have to keep going up to select and edit and all those good things. A dream and a dream and a dream! Thank you, Sam, for posting that. Okay, so let's play with the opacity of these layers a little bit so that we can make it look a little bit more realistic. One thing we could do is duplicate this flag layer. Remember I said Command J or Control J on a PC. We'll duplicate a layer. Let's drag it above. And I know it makes it disappear. But let's do maybe exclusion and fill down here. And I'm not sure why it's doing that. We could play with a couple different options. That's nice. You can see some darks and lights coming through. I love these live previews of the blend modes. It's amazing. Or if we delete that, we can come to the actual shoe layer and play with these. So if we want to get a couple more highs and lows in here, that's nice. Overlay. That'd be very subtle. It's almost like a tonal design. Ooh, difference. That's cool because you can see the highlights coming through. I think we're going to do difference. And we might turn the opacity or the fill of that blend a little bit down. Cool. I like that. Very nice. Okay, so we have our shoes. Like I said, you could put whatever you want on whatever you want. It doesn't have to be shoes on a flag. It could be your school logo on a t-shirt, on a varsity jacket. That'd be cool. Linear light, says Van Damme. Let's try that. This one. That's nice. You can see a little bit of the highs coming through here. Ooh, yes. Wait, you're so right. That's perfect. Great. Soft light and double up the layer. Okay, let's try that too. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to delete the smart layer on the second one. Oh, no, we're not. All right, you said soft light twice and double up the layer, so let's try that. So nice to have you all here to help out. Not seeing as much of a difference here. Maybe if I turn my fill back up. Oh yeah, there you go. You can really see the highlights there. I think I like the linear light that Van Damme said first. It's very good. And remember my little trick from the other days. If you want to change the color of these shoes super quickly, you can go to your adjustment layers, solid color, maybe choose red, and I'm gonna make a clipping mask by either right-clicking on the layer and clicking Create Clipping Mask, or hovering between the two layers and holding Option and clipping it down. So that's a little vibraty. It's kind of scary, but we can change the color at will. So maybe something a little more cream, just a hint off of actual white to make this look a little bit more like real fabric, or maybe a little bit grayer. Nice. What do we think? What's up, Hannah? Good to see you. Yeah, Van Damme, thank you so much for the tips. You're always coming in hot with the good tips. All right, so let's add our text. So I'm just gonna go to my text tool, click, write a long walk, and that is tiny, so let's increase this size. Hey, long walk. And I'm gonna change my font. I believe I was using Mr. Eves. Yeah, that's nice. All right, seems good. I'm gonna change my color. You can come over here to the properties panel as well. Double click in here to change colors. I had kind of like a maroon, I believe, chosen. Remember we started the challenge with these kind of like synth pop 80s, that Dracula cover, and now this is like so stark and scary. It's fun to try different things. All right, I'm going to duplicate this layer, bring it down, and just change the type to say Stephen King. Stephen Kong? Nope. Stephen King. I'm gonna center align actually both of these. Move them over. Now we want the title to be bigger than the author because the title has a higher place in the hierarchy, I believe. Sometimes the author's name is bigger if the author is like a really famous author, which Stephen King is. But this is one of his earlier books, so it probably would have been a little bit smaller. All right, I think this is a nice way to fill up this kind of bottom right quadrant of space. The Misery cover from yesterday, do you remember? We were working with that top right empty space and keeping it empty as a place for kind of the eye to wander into and then wander back into the graphic. Today we're using it as a place for the title and the author to sit. I'm gonna change this color, maybe kind of like a gray, scarlet and gray. It's Mrs. Eves. Oh, thank you, Rob. I misspoke. Mrs. Eves. I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller. Ooh, that looks good. Okay. So I have a title, I have an author, I have a graphic, but I don't think they tie together super well. So one thing I'm gonna do is, I'm really excited about this. I'm going to convert these to smart objects. And then I'm gonna go up to filter, distort, displace and apply that same displacement map on top, and it's gonna have this strange warpy feeling. Maybe? Maybe not. Maybe my computer is not loading, but in the original file, it worked. There we go, and we got this nice wrinkly look. So it's this really kind of stark and strong typeface, but there's something a little bit off about it. That's kind of been a normal theme. Reading Stephen King with so much white space, it scares you. Sorry, Alberto. It should be a little unnerving, I think. Tim says, by the way, you can even control the direction of the displacement. Are you talking about in the settings here? So like the horizontal scale and the vertical scale? What if we made this like 50 and this like 10? What would that do? Just having fun over here, experimenting. This is what Photoshop's all about. Okay, didn't make too huge of a difference. Let's push it even further. Let's do like 205. Let's go crazy. It's a Wednesday. Whoa, cool. So we get kind of almost a ripply and water effect. Interesting. I dig it. I want to push this further than it is, but not quite that far. So let's do 130 and 100. One more again. Whoa, that's pretty wrinkly. That really looks like the wind is getting that flag whipped. Very cool. Oh, Tim, you're getting into channels? Ooh la la. Yeah, chat, if you have not checked out Tim's pro tips, here's how you improve your displacement map. Apply the filter equalize the entire image based on the selected area. You now have an improved displacement map. Oh, I see. Okay, so you can have those highs and lows a little bit better. Love that. Maybe I'll work on that and post that in Discord later. But for now, let's post this into Discord. I want to get a little bit of feedback, so let's go to File, Export, Export As. This is a big old file. I'm going to go back down to 900. JPEG. By the way, chat, I don't know if you knew this, but it is Wednesday, which is to say on Wednesdays we wear all black. So if you want to join me next Wednesday, make sure you wear all black. Like Wednesday Addams, you know? I don't know if I did it last week. I think I did. Anybody else doing it? Any other designers just always wearing all black? It happens. All right, let's say the long walk JPEG. Join the Discord for Tim's greatest pro tips. Yes, do it, actually. Oh yeah, I don't think we've shown the link yet. If you want to join Discord, it's bit.ly/psdiscord, capital P, capital S. All right, let's get some feedback going. So I'm gonna come down here, click the plus button. We don't want day 6, we want day 7. The long walk, I'll say I want to improve my displacement with Tim's pro tip about the equalize filter. Will report back later. In the meantime, what do you think about the displacement on the type? Is it still legible? We'll upload that, get some feedback. I might make some tweaks according to it, and then we can upload our work onto Behance for our final portfolios. Anna says on Wednesday I wear pink. That's also very valid. So I'll be off of here in a minute or two, but we have an awesome day of Adobe Live coming up after me. We've got graphic design streams, XD streams. Yes, let's see what is going on. So after me, we've got Chris and Christine coming up. Oh my gosh. Chat, were you here for the original Chris and Christine Arth stream? I think it was a year or two ago. It was pretty amazing. Get ready for a lot of energy coming at you. We've got Peter coming up after that for the XD Daily Creative Challenge, and then more XD coming up at 12. So we got a lot of Photoshop, a lot of XD. It's going to be great, and I'll be back tomorrow. See you then.